Hi guys.
What up? We're here.
Whew. Okay. All right. Hi there, everyone. It's Chromacity, MiMi, and Vykerman, aka Vyke. And I want to say I don't have my laptop in front of me. We're doing kind of like an impromptu. I want to say, ooh, at some point, Vyke, number this correctly. Make this the video. After the videos, the number after the videos you've already uploaded. Note to self. Okay. So, this is a Destin project brainstorm session. And I think I don't have the list of people in the oh, let me check. We have it looks like we have someone that MiMi and myself mutually do not recognize in the group. So maybe today, if that person is willing, we can interview that person.
Gabriel, yeah.
Well, I thought that was popular already.
Nope. And feel free if you want to hold this too. You can hold it, okay? If you want. For any different reason, including help me out. And I'm good right now. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay, I'm just here to like.
By the way, please respect MiMi's space, because this is a note to self and note to whoever's gonna be watching this, and it's cool if y'all listen as well. But I'm not trying to like preach to no one. I'm just asking kindly that you respect MiMi's space. They have allowed us to use their time and space instead of going to a different place where we would be a lot more limited on time to have this meeting for the Destin project. So this is a note to self for Vyke to remember to be thankful, first of all, before I even ask anyone else to be thankful. But because I'm sharing this, that's why I'm asking you, whenever, wherever you might be watching this, to be respectful that I might accidentally catch some of MiMi's personal stuff in their personal space. All right, let's move on. What is the subject for today, Natsu?
We're basically just going over influences today and talking about possible crossovers with Nitro and Goose's projects.
Okay.
All right, and I apologize that you were trying to explain who that person was. I was just like generally speaking to the camera, but yes, please feel free. For some reason, I don't recognize your name on here, but I think your name sounds familiar-ish, kind of. But let me go back to the VC. It sounds like is where y'all are at. Yes. Oh, I do recognize you. Okay. Hi, Goose. I don't know why I did not recognize you. Oh, it's the
founder. He's also the game designer to one of the projects I was just discussing, Unstable Connections.
Okay. Wagata. All right. So, hi, Goose. And I do not want to confuse Goose. What my ears heard was incorrect. So the camera caught everything in the sound check, caught it, I hope, correctly. That Goose and Gabriel are not the same person. I see a Gabriel. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it okay to read your name? Just G. I'll call you G.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Do anything you want to bring. You can call me Gabriel anything. I don't really mind.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. All right. And also, definitely last but not least, we have Solar Apple and MiMi.
Hi.
Would you like to say how to, you want to have the camera?
Nah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn around, by the way, too. So if I'm doing this, it's literally, I'm looking at me. So.
Yeah.
Unless they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Get me started.
Yeah.
All right. And Solar Apple, what's happening, Solar Apple? Good. It's good to virtually be in your presence again. Okay.
Last time, nothing really much changed.
Nothing changed. Right. Right. So if you would like, Goose and Gabriel, is it all right if we interview you another time, unless Natsu prefers that we try and do that in this session as well?
I'm okay with either.
Okay.
We can wait.
I'm okay with either anytime.
Anything, yeah.
Either.
It sounds like Mimi. Oh, sorry.
Because I'm fine with whatever as well.
Okay. Goose and Gabriel, okay with
Well, I think that Mimi thinks and feels as though they would prefer that we do the interview part for you two a different time.
Yeah, we want to do it separately so we can get you guys enough time to answer the questions and stuff.
Alright.
Yeah, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alright.
Great. Great stuff. Thank you, everyone. And I also, just let you know, agree and concur that I can wait or we can do that now.
No.
But it sounds like another time is better.
Yeah, we're kind of running short right now.
Yeah. So, and I personally apologize on behalf of the fact that we're all a little, late-ish kind of. So, influences sounds like is gonna be the topic of this Destin project brainstorm session. Vike, don't forget, note to self. Excuse me. All right. Would anyone care to begin?
What do you guys mean by influences? Sorry.
Influences, like I was just talking about what games and anime influenced which arts in my Destin. Like I was just talking about how the terrestrial ether. Now the terrestrial side of the story is influenced by Rune Factory, Harvest Stella, those dungeon crawling farming games, and how the ether side is influenced by Lupita, the Castle in the Sky film, and Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, those are good ones.
Do you mind, however you want to comprehend this? It sounds like I'm asking for you to back up, and I apologize, or elaborate, however you want to comprehend it. Elaborate or reverse, back up, or a combination of both on what. So your those forms of media and literature that you just mentioned, you're saying those are kind of the influences
The inspiration
that are kind of like trending right now, or have been trending for a long time.
I actually thought of actually terrestrial ether is actually one of my, well, I wouldn't say recent, but it's definitely younger than the other arts that I formalized in the past.
Okay.
And you have one side, the terrestrial, that has the Guardians of the Season, so I thought it'd just make more sense with the dungeon crawling and the farming aspects, agriculture, is that the word I'm looking for, and the ether side of the story that focus more on the Skywalkers, the phenomenal beings that have bird-like abilities and stuff, that it just made more sense with, I'm a big fan of Ghibli films and Zelda, so it just made more sense, and by the time I was thinking of how to separate the two, make them feel more different, despite being the same story, it just happens that those games, the Tears of the Kingdom actually took a lot of influence from the Ghibli films, which coincidentally the creators have actually known each other for years. They actually talked to each other back in the 80s.
I'm done. Wow. That's amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Did you hear what Natsu just said? I would like to repeat that part. I'm not trying to cut you off. Just want to reiterate that she is explaining how the creator of Studio Ghibli,
Hayao Miyazaki.
yes, Hayao Miyazaki-san, and the creator of Zelda, the Zelda franchise series video games, knew each other for a long time. I stopped believing in coincidences a long time ago. So that's cool. And I just wanted to
Yeah, you
emphasize
can
that.
actually read the conversation they had online. They were talking about world buildings and how they took references from each other, and people to this day still want to sell because of that. They still want to sell the film by Ghibli because of that.
That'll make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could see it happening, and it definitely would make me happy.
Yeah. I agree and concur.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of makes me think of, well, since we're here, I guess I'll try my best to just be transparent with the information I'm comfortable with sharing about my monster ally, monster crawling, or I should say R, because it wasn't just me, although I may have came up with some of the original concepts. Like I
Yeah,
had,
we were just talking about Monster Hunter, like right before you came on.
well, I
Nitro loves Monster Hunter. He's actually playing it right now. As
Oh.
we're talking.
which one?
Generation Ultimate.
Monster Hunter Ultimate?
Generations Ultimate.
Generations Ultimate. Whoa, is that on the Switch too?
You can play on Switch 1.
Huh.
Which one? Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, before I talk about my original affiliates company's ideal, I just want to put two and two together and add to what Natsu was saying. Also, I think it would be a good idea. I'll also have to interrupt myself and say, if y'all don't mind saying who y'all are when y'all speak, I will also try and do the same. I apologize for not thinking of this before. Just for the sake of, like, a person in the future, or whatever they perceive as time, is, like, watching or listening to this, and they would like to know who's saying what, just in case you are comfortable with meeting your fans in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
If that's okay with y'all. If y'all don't feel comfortable doing that, I also will respect that.
I can say I don't feel uncomfortable by that. I just, well, we all have very distinctive voices, and
Yeah,
not to
we
mention
do.
our ones pop up when we're talking.
Alright, and I will do my best in the future to get used to that. At this time, where I am at is, I do not know everyone's voices that matches which one right away. I am a very kinesthetic, face-to-face person. I'm old like that, for whatever reason, but I had to learn to respect that, so that's the only reason why I'm trying to relate that to other people similar to myself that have other ways of remembering voices. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all. Well, anyways, so Monster Hunter, there's certain items in Zelda Breath of the Wild that remind me of Monster Hunter. So when Link is running, and because I like to run on foot with Link a lot, I noticed that I feel like I'm playing a Monster Hunter game. And that
Well,
feels,
that's because they had some Zelda DLCs released on Monster Hunter before.
this is just beautiful, and I did not know that. Or unless I've heard of it and saw it on news in a flash and then forgot, you know? But that's cool. I didn't know that. Thank you, Natsu, for pointing that out. Yeah. So what I was gonna say, the first thing I was gonna say before I went in a circle is, which is good. I'm glad I went in a circle, so I can kind of add to what Natsu was saying. Because for me, I definitely was personally very influenced by Monster Ally, is what I'm trying to specify. Certain video games and certain franchises, anime and manga and all that focus on befriending monster allies. You get where I'm going with this? And then they help you out in the form of digital, in the form of a card, in the form of, you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
A ball. Like you summon them through a ball. You get where I'm going with that? So I was very influenced by those anime and styles of literature and media. So when I was developing one of my anime ideals with my company, because it wasn't just my ideal, I realized that on that anime, I focused on the creatures and the world building and the relationships in such a different way that differed from other anime and forms of literature and media that focus more on styles like One Piece or Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it's more focused on like the so-called human representation of one individual or a group that will like have like superpowers or are very intelligent or special. You get what I'm saying?
You mean character-driven stories?
Yeah, versus the relationship between the character and their monster ally or allies story. Those two anime styles, I noticed I focused on them differently when I was developing those two animations that I had ideals for as well. And I'm only adding this because I would like to express that those are my influences as far as like my video gameplay style preferences and presentations when I'm having concepts for cinematography and storyboarding and like action sequences. You get where I'm going with that? Does that make sense?
I understand.
Oh, great. Great. Yeah, I ranted. I apologize. So yeah, I was trying to add to what Natsu was saying for those that influenced her heavily. Oh, sorry about that. I don't think I got your whole face.
Oh.
Please respect them. Thank you. Like, if someone's gonna go on YouTube, like when I'm at Instar, you know where,
Yeah.
and like I accidentally, like when I'm getting a video and I don't want to get certain members and I flash them, and if someone is like crazy enough to get that one part to do that, then we have some problems, you know? But if they're like, oh, you're fine, Vike, and I'm like, okay, thank you, my bad for almost flashing your face, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, so I'm curious to know, Natsu and Vykerman have spoken for the most part. I'm not cutting us off, but I just would like to leave space for anyone else to speak of what influences their art style, their music, or something in between, or everything. Do you have a spiritual path? I'm curious about everything. Like, do certain animes...
What?
I mean, I have a bunch of influences overall from lots of different parts of things. Like, I'll be like influenced by the series when I like music, but like,
Okay.
All right.
Nitro's especially crazy. We were just literally just talking about this. Nitro's especially crazy about the creator of Arts and Blast Blues and Guilty Gear, and Goose is actually a fan of those. It's just because of those games. It was his idea to turn Destin into fighting games.
Interesting. Natsu, do you mind repeating that? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I got that. This is Vykerman. If y'all are just tuning in, you're late. Like, this is a Destin Project brainstorm session, whatever I have it labeled as, please forgive me. And the focus today is influences in art for those of us that prefer to share our creative side or part of ourselves. We're just sharing what heavily influenced our our attempt to project our appreciation of those influences. or criticism or whatever. It could be anything. What is art?
Exactly. What is that?
So Natsu was making sure to express just now that Goose his, is that the proper pronoun?
Yes.
His um appreciation for the Guilty Gear series. Such a fun series. I used to get my butt kicked in college. I used to try to play in between classes, and I'm like, I won some. They're like, that is Vykerman. I knew they were good at video games. I'm like, yeah. But most of the time, I got my butt kicked. Anyways, the Guilty Gear Saga's cool. I need to find out which character I prefer to play with. Then, what were the other games, Natsu, that you mentioned?
It's basically by the same games by Art System.
Yeah, I like Art System. Okay.
Blaze Blue. Yeah.
Blaze Blue, right? Or Blaze Blue.
I'm more into French bread fighting games. Like I do like. Don't get me wrong, I love those games, but I like the other French bread games more, like Melty Blood and Under Night and Bird.
Okay. Oh, I haven't heard of that last one. I've definitely heard of Melty Blood, which is fun as all outdoors. It reminds me of that fan-made game. Okay. And what I was saying was, Natsu was letting us know that, like, Goose's appreciation of the music from those games kind of, like, formed the kind of gameplay style that we are all doing our best to adopt and appreciate and project the form of the gameplay style similar to, not copywriting, y'all. Focus on what Vykerman is saying.
Well, technically, the gameplay is more like Melty Blood in a sense.
Okay, thank you for that.
But Goose has always loved fighting games, and he always wanted to make one. And he asked me if I would help him, like, come up with a story and characters, and I thought, hey, why not just use my series?
Wow, I'm done. Wow. And that's all Vike was trying to say. Natsu broke it down in like 3 words. I'm done. All right. That's all I was trying to say, is that Goose, we really appreciate Goose and Natsu.
He's a co-founder, and we've actually just talked about this. We've been best friends since we were like 11 years old. We've met each other in middle school, and then we were separated for like almost 2 decades. And 6 years ago, we reunited when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we've just about maybe I would say 5 months later, it was we decided to start Chromacity, along with another co-founder of ours who's closely acquainted with Goose.
All right. For clarification for Vike, if you do not mind, Natsu, do you mind repeating that one part about the time you said there was y'all knew each other since y'all were 11, then y'all were separated for almost 2 decades. And then 6 years ago or 6 months ago? That's where I didn't hear you.
6 years ago.
Wow.
I would say about 6 or 7 years ago, we reunited. And then 5 months after that, we decided to form our Doji group. And I came up with, he asked me to come up with a title for the group. And I've always been fascinated with colors and the promedy of storytelling, so I chose the word chromacity. And the exact dictionary term of it, chromacity is an objective 2-dimensional measure of a color's qualities, especially in hue and saturation, independent of its brightness or luminance. And I just thought that was perfect with the games that we were trying to create.
Got it.
And I would really like to turn Destin and our other projects into web comics and even turn to anime one day.
Yes. I personally, Vykerman, would like to highlight that I want to do my best. I need to do my best to support those aspects as well, not taking away from what we're trying to do. And I would like I when you first told me about that, I was blown away. Yeah, because that's awesome. And
And my two
hmm
heroes are definitely Hayao Miyazaki, as I mentioned. And he basically helped create my childhood. And Makoto Shinkai, who did like all the world-breaking record movies like Your Name and
I just watched Your Name last year.
and Suzume, Weathering with You, 930 Inches.
Susan, I've heard of.
He basically made my middle school and high school year.
So,
And surprise, surprise, Makoto Shinkai, he actually worked as a animator for video game cutscenes and opening sequences for Falcom. You know, the guys who worked on Yeast, Weiss, is it Yeast? I'm thinking Wheat Yeast and Trails. You can definitely see it when you compare the films and those early games together.
well, Trails is, first of all, before I forget this part, this is gonna go away. Trails is also an original character I was gonna develop for Sega, but that's another story. I named that person Trail, just Trail, and I'll stop there. And I wanted to say something else, but please continue, Natsu.
Yeah, we've also today been talking about crossovers with Goose actually came up with another original concept with our other co-founder Gray. It's Unstable Connections, and it's basically from what everything he's told me, the gameplay is like a mixture of Persona 5 and the setting is like dot hack. You'd have to ask him more about it. He's better with the details than I am.
Okay.
Yeah, that reminds me of an affiliate of mine who loves dot hack and loves dot hack sign a lot, and I forget which one she likes more, but yeah,
I like GU the most.
close affiliate of mine. I think I like dot hack sign, that anime, the most for some reason. The name, I remember, I literally sound exactly how I sound. So this affiliate of mine, I've already mentioned her to y'all multiple times. I've known her since we were 14, technically, but we didn't start spending time till we were 15. So, and I'm 36, I'll be 37 in December. And what I wanted to say is, it's so interesting. This is why, for me, it's more than just making this video game series work. It's for me, it's something else, is what I'll say, to like respect people's, I don't know, boundaries. So in a good way, in a good way. So when you mentioned Dungeons and Dragons, wow, I stopped believing in coincidences, but I have a friend that asked me would I like to have a start Dungeons and Dragons with them. And now, especially working with you all, I already have my character. I kind of have their base and like their characteristics. I'm already starting to develop a type of character. But yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's cool.
And Nitro, he's got like a whole bunch of other series in mind. That this newest, very recent, Yume Straga, and he actually has his own project name, Yggdrasil. It's mixed with Yggdrasil.
Tree of Life. Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tree of Life.
My eventual game dev little branch is going to be called Labco, which is between Lab and Yggdrasil, and like just like a co as in like company or like part of my name at the end. So it's like kind of like rolls off the tongue. I like kind of thought about it for a little bit. Like, what is something that like is easy to say, kind of like how other company, you know the ones, they have like a bit of a shorter name that just like easier to roll off the tongue. compared to others.
Do you mind spelling that? I'm having a hard time. Labaco or Lavaco?
Lavico. So Labyggco.
Clavicle. That's cool. Okay.
Whew,
I
whew.
was not expecting
That was
spelling.
refreshing. Cool. I have so many ideas. And what I will say is for Destin, I'm very interested in the character to character relationships, dialogues, and then I try and make it a lot more selfish, if that's not selfish enough, and think about my job, which, if correct me if I'm wrong, someone is gonna be environments, right? So I would like to
Yeah.
I would like to know how the characters interact with each environment. And Natsu, I think we started talking about that way back when we first met virtually. And that was, I appreciate you doing your best to try and explain it to me. And I try to retain as much as I could while I was on those medications. Oh my goodness. So that's another story. So yeah, I want to continue to know about the relationships of each character and each area. That might take forever, but I'm sure Natsu probably already has all that in the bag. But if not, that's something I will also love to work on with everyone. You know what I mean? Because go ahead. Go.
The best term I would use for. I mean, when I'm thinking of the game and the games and the story, I'm thinking of two separately different things. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can
Because in
understand
this,
that.
the stations and the levels, I wouldn't say it's because they particularly have special relationships. I would just use associate characters with stages because a certain fight scene just happens to take place during a story arc of a certain scene during their route, and with the ones with the human realm and the ones in the revert, the opposite side of the earth that has all the magic, the sorcery, and magical creatures and stuff. Humans actually can't survive in there, which is why I have the ones based on more of the human cast with stuff based on with levels that actually take place, during mundane life and stuff, while the characters that live on the revert, they take place in those extraordinary magical places because their bodies and brains are wired for that. Because a human going into the revert can actually mess with your brain a lot and can even make you go insane. Which is why when you see human characters, you'll see more places from the earth, like on the streets or in a city or stuff like that. But if you'd ask me for like special relationships, I never really thought of them having special connections or relationships. More like who's there at this most particular moment.
Okay.
And I usually base the levels on that. I base them off like fight scene on mostly like where those action scenes take place, not more of like what character has a special connection with a certain area. I'm sorry if that's like a disappointment to you.
Oh, dang, I got that last part. I got distracted. I'm so sorry, Natsu. No. I just clarification is cool. I'm just asking for clarification. That's all. If you don't mind repeating that last part, because I had a question. I would like to ask another clarifying question, just to kind of make sure I'm understanding correctly, or overstanding, or ultrastanding, or inner, over, or outer standing about this thing. So, if you don't mind repeating that last couple of sentences, is cool. But what I'm getting is, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not really focused on the characters always consistently having like this ongoing personal story with each other and that particular stage that they're fighting on with other characters. Is that correct? Like like
Because with the whole, here's how the cast works. Like each story has its own specific cast, and we would like try to release a set for each of that cast, and with additional characters that come after that is DLCs.
oops,
Like
sorry.
if you're asking if all the characters from each cast like talk to each other, that doesn't really happen until the epilogue that I have in mind.
Like for each character.
Excellion, yeah, that's what I called it. Excellion, the epilogue. If you're asking if all the cast like talk to each other, at least not only story wise.
Yeah, because like you're saying, they each have their own individual story, and they just so happen to be in this fighting game called Destin. And like at this time, like in their storyline, you caught them doing something else. Like, oh wait, you want to fight? Okay, well, we gotta fight. Like, is it like that? Kind of? Or are they like, oh wait, hold up. Vykerman, you're clashing with Natsu. What? Fight, you know. Or
Well, that's
like your storylines intertwine before Echelon, or I'm sorry.
well, that's essentially what I was talking about earlier with the crossovers. That's what the crossovers would be like. Like, I would like say if they had like special dialogue towards each other, it would probably, I would associate that with a special event or a DLC in mind.
Yeah.
It would fit more of that. It's like when you, like how you watch a film, an anime film that's based off a popular manga. You can either have it canon or not. I mean, I prefer ones that feel like they're canon, or ones that were actually directed by the mangaka themselves. That's what I have in mind. So it doesn't feel like it's out of the blue, and at the same time, if it doesn't make sense with you, you can easily explain it away. That's what the point of the DLC and special events would be for.
Cool.
DLC, downloadable content.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, for those of you that did not know what DLC meant, it means downloadable content. And so I will also ask it, correct me if I'm wrong, when it comes to Destin, it is not one overarching world that each character lives in. Like, no.
That's the point of having separate arcs.
Yeah.
It should take place in the same universe.
Yeah. Got you.
Well, technically with synchronicity, it takes place in another galaxy, but the epilogue itself, the final entry, will explain that. I would probably describe Excellion as the prologue, as the epilogue that acts like Fate Grand Order or Trails of Cold 4. It pretty much acts as the tie that ties